Once the tree is in our mind, it's no longer just a tree. We can write a whole book about the tree, about what we perceive that tree. And we use words in order to create a whole picture. Then the words is like the pencil that we use to create a whole picture.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we understand that, we can also understand the importance of the impeccability of the word, because as an artist, we use the word to create a whole movie, a whole dream, and this is where we live. Then we create the whole world with the use of the word. And it doesn't matter if we enjoy it or we suffer, it's a masterpiece of art. Which means that every single human is an artist. And that's exactly the meaning of the word Toltec. The word Toltec means artist. And it's not really a nation, it's just an artist. And it's true in every language that can be translated. Because every human is really an artist. And we use the word to create a whole story where we live. In that story where we are the main character, and everything that we know is just a secondary character. Then if we don't like the world that we create, only we can change it because we are the author. We create a masterpiece of art. Then depending on how we use the word, we can create the most beautiful dream, the most beautiful movie, and we can call it heaven on earth, or we can create also the most disruptive kind of story with all the drama, all the blood, all the injustice, and it becomes really a hell on earth. But it's only in our mind, because we created, we are responsible for our own creation, and we either can enjoy or suffer our own creation.
Okay, it's amazing to me because I had never thought of it this way before, but in the last 6 years, I have not been acquiring knowledge. I've been dropping labels.
Mm-hmm.
and many of my labels have fallen away, and I have become less defined. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about, you have a new book coming out, and I understand it's called The Fifth Agreement.
Yes, I write this book with my son, Don Jose. It's, I consider more his book than my book. He put all his heart in this book.
He has a great heart.
Oh, and his presence is amazing.
Yes.
Then it's so beautiful the way the book came out. And he had the simplicity of my other books. Then at a certain point, you don't know who is talking in this book because it's so similar and we teach exactly the same things, but the difference is his personality, you know, his the projection that he made, the intensity of his work.
Well, you know I love Don Jose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've met him, well, I've seen him many times. I've met him and hung out with him a little bit and talked to him 3 or 4 times. And he is, he's an interesting study because his beliefs are practically identical to yours. They may be identical, but I don't want to pin him down that much.
Yes.
But his personality and the difference of just the difference of a generation, the difference in the way one generation and the next generation approaches it. I suspect that there was a similar transition between what you learned from your mother, Doña Sarita, and your own career.
Yes, we can see that in this book. Don Jose rescues something that I started teaching a little more than 10 years ago, because I have all those apprentices and I was willing to take them all the way until they finally becomes authentic with themselves. But when I start teaching them, that's very last part of my teaching, we can say, they they couldn't handle it. It was too much for them.
Really?
Then I started like 2 or 3 classes, and I decided to stop because they was not ready. They was like maybe 12, 13 years ago. Well, in 10 years, everything shifted. You know, Don Jose started teaching the same thing, and it was amazing, but they respond to it.
Is this the 5th agreement that you're talking about?
Yes, definitely. Well, they come from what I used to call angel training. Then as we see, the word angel means messenger.
Correct.
Then we humans, we all are messengers.
The message that your apprentices were not ready for 13 years ago, but Don Jose is teaching this today.
Well, he did already, and it was like 3 years already teaching people for what we call the angel training. Like I told you before, the word angel means messenger. And we humans, we all are messengers, but we are not aware that we are messengers. Then when I say angel training, it has nothing to do with religion. But we are the real angels with the humans. We are the real messengers. But the question that Jose asked to everybody is, what kind of messenger you are? What is the message that you deliver to the people that you say you love the most? What is the message that you deliver to your woman, to your beloved, to your children, to your parents? What is the message you give to your brothers and sisters, to your community, to your city, to your country, to humanity? But most important is, what is the message that you deliver to yourself? Because the quality of the message, it will really decide what kind of messenger you are. Because there's only, we can say, 2 kinds of message that you can deliver. One is truth, and the other are lies. Then in the angel training or messenger training is to share the awareness with all those artists, with all those messengers, that they find out what kind of messengers they really are. Then the result of this messenger training is exactly the 5th agreement that I already shared for many, many years with all my apprentices, but I never really published it because I knew at that time that it was not the time. But now that my son started teaching and continuing with this messenger training, it was obvious that the need is now to publish this book. Then the result is the 5th agreement. And the 5th agreement is, be skeptical, but learn to listen. And be skeptical is not a position in society to say, oh, I'm so intelligent, I don't believe. It has nothing to do with ego or anything like that. Everything is about awareness. Because we already know that every human creates his own reality, his own virtual reality that we know as the mind, and they live in that reality. Then whatever they say is just a story. And that story is only true for the one who created the story. It's not necessarily true for anybody else, just for them. Then when we're skeptical, it's because we already know that. The story that we're sharing right now is only true for the one who created, which means I. This is my story, and it's really only true for me. But if we learn to listen, that will make the whole difference. To be skeptical means don't believe me. Don't believe yourself, and don't believe anybody else. Don't believe them.